Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Bright Founders Talk at Temi. Temi is an international software development company that designs, builds, and delivers software for sustainable businesses and promising startups. My name's Matthew, and I'm joined tonight by Miguel Varela, who is the CEO of temas. How are you today, Miguel?
Yeah, not too bad. How are you, Matt? It's a pleasure to meet you.
Thank you very much for joining us. Yes, things are well, and thank you for taking time out of your schedule to be here. Miguel, am I saying the name right? Temas?
Yeah, temas. Yeah, T-E-I-M-A-S. That is, temas is okay.
Fantastic. Can you tell us a little bit about temas?
Yeah, of course. The first thing, I love to define temas like a weirdo in the startup world because first of all, we've been working in the field for more than 15 years. We started our journey in 2008. We are an old startup, and the main thing that makes temas different from any other startups or companies is that we are a company that provide or build digital solutions available on the cloud for the waste management value of chain. When we talk about waste management value of chain, we talk about we have some software products, cloud-based products that for companies who, as a result of their activities, they produce or generate waste, oil and gas companies, telecommunications, healthcare, pharma, manufacturers, etc. And also in the waste management value of chain, we have the companies who has a business around the waste, what we call the waste managers, recyclers, pickers, haulers, landfills, treatment facilities, valorization facilities, etc. So we create temas in 2008 because part of the co-founder of temas have experience working for the government in terms related with the traceability of waste, deploying for the government some digital tools for the control and of the waste traceability. And after that, we understood that there was a market over there, a lot of companies, waste managers, most of them that very traditional, not so digitalized, etc. So we decided to create temas in 2008.
Okay, congratulations. So 15 years, that's a nice run. And it sounds like a company that with your technology is doing a lot of good. Obviously, waste management is a big topic these days. How did this come about? So the idea was to simplify these processes. What is your drive for the environment, for the end user? What is your goal here?
First, there's a thing that is quite important, that we have to protect the environment. But I don't want that claim that there's no a planet B, I understand that the main problem is not there because the planet is a stone flipping around the sun and is going to be spinning around a lot of years. The main problem is the health of the people that are inside of this stone, So the main thing when I talk about the protect the environment is protect the health of the people, okay? A part of this, we saw that, and we keep on seeing that is a waste. When we talk about waste management, is a very traditional sector, not so digitalized, not so very flexible and agile. I think that this sector is changing right now. And why is it changing? Because it's what you say, Matt. What you said before, Matt, is that now it starts to be a hot topic, but some years ago when we talk about waste management, I always say that it was like the Cinderella of the environmental sector, something that is not very cool, not waste your rubbish, your garbage, your trash, better put it under the carpet, But at this moment when we talk about lack of resources, when we talk about greenhouse emissions, reusing, etc., is like waste management starts to have the place that they should have years ago.
Absolutely. I think, no, but that's a great thing. And the company's been around 15 years, so you're expanding, and is the company quite big at the moment? How many people do you have working there? Do you have a good team around you?
Yeah, we are 45 people working on temas, 100% working on this field of waste management. It's peculiar because we are the only company in Spain, only technological company in Spain that is specialized in waste management and in building products, not going to a public tender, for example, or at the tender of a big corporation. We create products for the companies who produce or the companies who manage the waste. 45 people, but we are growing. This month of July, we ran our first office out of Spain in Brussels. The reason in Brussels is because it's very close to the regulator, the European Commission. A lot of regulations, a lot of new laws and norms and directives are coming, talking about use of resources, zero waste, circular economy, greenhouse gas mitigation, due diligence, the duty of care, because the corporations has the duty of care, the waste, not only ethically, but protecting the health and all the stakeholders in the waste management value chain. So, and we are seeing that this field is evolving a lot, even in the technological part. Okay, we have been working for 15 years, but we understand we are going to work at least 15 more.
Okay, so some nice longevity in your project, and it sounds like you've got your eye on the development, on where it's going in the future. And as you mentioned something interesting, so you're not working with tenders and those government contracts, but working with people and small businesses and companies around there. What has the uptake been like of people, as this topic has grown in importance? Have people been quite receptive? Do they want it more? Are they saying, yes, good idea, we want to be part of this? Or do you get a bit of kickback? What is the attitude like with the public?
In terms of startups, for example, we saw in the last years, since the COVID-19 pandemic, since 2020, in the last years, we see that there are new companies working in this field. Companies working in providing, artificial vision tools for inspecting the waste stream and see if there's an envelope or a plastic or whatever, for example. Or companies with IoT solutions for tracking the waste management. Even we as temas have a project of blockchain traceability of the waste streams of the companies. So we're seeing that this field is growing a lot. The main thing that is growing a lot is because is what I told you before, Matt, is that at this moment we have a problem of critical situation talking about climate. Waste management is a pillar of this climate change mitigation. Of course, is the main pillar of that new paradigm that is called circular economy. I understand that in 2020, there was a huge development in everything that is related with information and communication technologies. It's not a coincidence that, for example, things like ChatGPT or AI tools like Midjourney or any other tools are growing a lot these years because of the pandemic situation that put a lot of resources, a lot of machines, hardware, and minds in order to create new tools. So I understand there's going to be a new journey of creating tools in this concrete scope, at least this decade.
And you've got 15 years in the business, so you have a bit of a head start with the development and future prospects, right?
No, right. That's it.
And tell me a little bit about this thing called the SaaS format or SaaS. I'm not sure how you pronounce it.
Software as a service, SaaS.
SaaS, software as a service, yes, SaaS.
Yeah, I think that SaaS is a paradigm of distribution of the software that is very well known at this very moment. For example, the difference is, Matt, maybe 15 or 20 years ago, when you want to write some documents in your computer, you have to buy the license of Microsoft Office, for example, But in the last years, since 10 years, or buy, you should buy. You might buy or not. But in the last 5 years or 10 years, the model that is the most important when talking about the software distribution is the software as a service. So you don't buy the license, you don't buy the CD-ROM, you rent like the subscription of the tool. Yes. You pay for the service. If you want to pay 1 month, it's 1 month, and you want to pay all your life, you're going to pay all your life. It's the same as the gym. And take a look at this. Very interesting that this software as a service model has penetrated in every corner, even in our personal life. Because, for example, there are not video clubs no more, and you, for example, pay the subscription of Netflix.
That's right.
So from my perspective, even in the personal or professional side, using a software as a service tool like we provide, for example, is easier for our clients because they don't have to maintain like a dedicated server with the tool and the backup of the database. And if, for example, if we have some change in the tool, these changes are fully available for you at the next minute. So software as a service is something that, from my perspective, is the way of doing things at this very moment.
Fantastic. And tell me, your clients, are they mostly local? Is it mostly from Spain and the surrounding areas? Do you have international clients? How far abroad do you go?
Yeah, we mainly have two tools, two software as a service cloud-based tools. One is called Teisho. It's a tool for the waste managers. And it's like, I love to define Teisho as like the Swiss Army knife for a waste management facility, a small and medium business. Okay, with Teisho you have your invoice, you have a CRM for your customer control, you have a small route planner, you have a tool for controlling the process and the scales in your center, etc. And you have all the tools about generation, the documentation about traceability. This tool Teisho, at this moment, we are working with more than 900 waste management centers in Spain. Most of them are small and medium enterprise, small and medium companies. And I have to say, from these 90, maybe from these 900, we have 100 that are large corporations. Okay, but with Teisho for waste managers, mostly in Spain. Okay. But in 2019, we create our second tool that is going. It's been a huge success. It was the main way of growing of the company since 2020, and it's called Zero. If Teisho is a tool for the waste manager, Zero is a tool for the waste producer, the company who, as a result of their activity, I don't know, I have a manufacturer of cars, for example, and as a result of my activity, I produce waste. That's what we call the producer. So if Teisho is for the waste manager, Zero is for the waste producer. Wow. If Teisho is for small and medium companies, Zero is for large corporations and multinationals. And if Teisho is for Spanish scope, Zero is worldwide. At this moment, we are working with more than 30 multinationals. We have our product deployed in 43 countries, Latin America, Europe, etc., using these companies as well.
That's terrific. So you've got both sides of it covered, which is fantastic. But if Zero does too well, then there'll be nothing left for the waste managers.
No, for sure. Zero is a way of controlling something that until this moment it was completely out of control in some cases. we say sometimes that the waste traceability is broken, because when we talk about waste traceability, is that you have to you have a material, a resource that is waste, okay, and you have to control every jump of this waste inside of the chain of the waste management value chain, But sometimes this waste goes out, illegal waste streams. It ends up being, for example, talking about waste of electrical and electronic devices. There are a lot of illegal dumpsters or landfills in Africa or in Pakistan or in Bangladesh, etc., where you have even children working in these landfills trying to get the things that are valuable from these electrical and electronic devices, etc. Zero is the answer to one need that at this moment wasn't fulfilled. Because sometimes the waste producer has an attitude of out of sight, out of mind. When the waste is out of my door, there's no problem for me anymore. So we have to say that if the companies use zero, there are more business for the companies using take.
Tell me something. Just moving on through that. What about future developments? Do you have your eyes on anything big? I mean, obviously, without giving away any secrets, are there any things for us to keep our eyes open for? Any big changes that might be coming that would be worth mentioning?
As I told you before, Matt, this is a field that is evolving a lot in the last years. A low level of digitalization even now, but it's changing faster, and that is good. Some digital trends we can perceive is the using of start using specific tools. So the Excel has a limit, and in talking about waste, the Excel has a limit as well. Because, for example, maybe you have only one center where you produce waste, there's no problem. But maybe you have 100 centers in different countries, or you have a center with a huge complexity about all the procedures and the waste streams. The Excel is not enough. So we see that there are new tools specialized in waste management and waste producing as one of the trends. The other trend is the control of the traceability, using, for example, different tools like blockchain, for example, in order to certify that this waste stream moves from point A to point B, and after point B, it was divided in two parts, one going to point C and the other part going to point D. And in point D, there's a final treatment, and in point C, they go to the landfill, for example. So there are new startups developing tools in order to certify that traceability chain. For example, we have a project that is called Verify, with the main idea of certify using blockchain technology all the jumps of the waste in the waste value chain.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, artificial intelligence and artificial vision, Internet of Things, etc. Internet of Things, for example, putting some sensors in containers or in bins in order to control the filling level or control the weight, etc., in order to optimize the route of the picker. This is one idea. Or artificial intelligence or artificial vision for detecting the different qualities of the waste streams in order to exclude for example, waste that you are not able to manage in your facility, for example. So specialized software, control of the certification of traceability using blockchain or any other techniques, and artificial intelligence are going to be a good way of a good scope for working in the waste management area, at least in this decade.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but then that also means that this waste and this process of dealing with waste starts gaining value. It starts, you can start extracting value then from this process and from this waste.
Yeah, absolutely. and you saw that things like, for example, the Ukraine invasion put a point on the lack of resources. What we say is that with the use of these tools and being conscious about the way you're producing, you change your mentality not only in one environmental point of view, that is pretty cool, protect the environment and the people's health, but also in an economic way of thinking, because it's like changing your mind and saying that, okay, there's not a problem with the waste, there's an opportunity with these resources that are waste. Metals, scrap, plastics, cardboard, paper, everything are resources that could be, if they are properly managed, they could be reintroduced easily in the manufacturing chain another time. So even you can get money.
I like that. I like what you said there. It's not a problem. It's an opportunity. And changing the way people look at things will change the way they treat them, the way they behave, and it will do a lot of good if people start looking at it that way. So I'm almost done. I've got one more little prompt for you here, and I just want to ask you: is there anything that you'd like to mention? Maybe anything you'd like to tell our listeners and our viewers about waste management, about running successful companies, being around for 15 years? Any pearls of wisdom that you can share with us before we say goodnight?
So some things I would like to say. First, the thing of the purpose. When we started the company temas in 2008, when you start your business plan, the first leaf should be the vision, the purpose, etc. And it was something that in 2008 I didn't understand quite well, you know? But at this moment, it's a key if you want to stay in your business a lot of years and having some pains and problems and many nights without sleeping. You have to believe in something more beyond that starting a business. So that's the thing of the purpose. And the purpose is something that maybe is not so important, or at least in my perspective in 2008, but now is part of the North Star. So think about the purpose of the things, because if you do something that is something that you truly believe in, that part of the job is done. The second part is that in my case, I have to develop like a mindset of marathon more than 100 meters run, you know, because sometimes always things are going slower than you think. And for example, you have to be resilient, because take a look at this, Matt. We start our business in 2008.
Yes.
In 2008, there was a huge economical crisis. You know, the Ninja crisis, the subprime, Lehman Brothers, the world it was falling apart. So it's like, whoa. But you have the purpose and you think that, okay, this is going to be hard because it's not going to be 1 kilometer run. It's going to be 42 kilometer run. The way of facing that kind of situations and problems is different. So may think who will last, may think that are sustainable all the time, and may think with purpose, with a mindset of you are running a marathon and not running a sprint.
Fantastic. Well, Miguel, I'd just like to say thank you so much for spending your time with us tonight, for sharing all these insightful thoughts with us. And we wish you and your company the best for the future. I think you're doing really good work, and we'll be keeping our eye on you.
Thank you, Matt. It was a real pleasure. Let's stay in touch.
Thanks.
Maybe not in the next 15 years. We don't have to wait 15 years more.
We'll do this again before 15 years is up. Absolutely. Thanks, my friend.
Nice to meet you, man. Bye-bye. Thank you.